Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are featuring this. New for 21 from Mattel, we have Masters of the Universe Faker, the evil robot of Skeletor. So we have Faker here. To be honest, I've always been kind of lukewarm towards Faker. He's not the most memorable toy or character for me, but I saw this at the store, and I kind of needed him just to complete the wave. So, yeah, I got Faker. Looking at the back, cool illustration. The robotic replica Faker lures the heroes of Eternia into deadly traps. And then we have Faker, Ram Man, Manny Faces. And then his play features, you can remove his body armor for the robotic reveal. He's articulated, very posable. And the other figures in the wave include Fisto, Evelyn, and Merman. And I've reviewed these previously in other videos, so check them out if you haven't already. I'm not sure which order I'll release the videos in, so who knows. So yeah, we have Faker here. Let's take him out. Alright, so much like the other Masters figures, we have the cool little mini comic book, a nice throwback to the 80s figures. We have this little kind of like map that tells you which parts of the figure are detachable. So if you want, you can like part swap with like other Masters of the Universe Origins figures. So that's kind of neat. First impressions of the figure while in the tray. To be honest, as like I said, I'm very lukewarm to this character. My first thought was not very impressed. As a child, I never got into Faker just because, alright, so he's called Faker. So apparently his name implies that he's a fake He-Man. And he's a robot. You know, he works for Skeletor. And I never understood the whole concept behind him. Like, is he supposed to fool the heroes into thinking that this is He-Man? It's like, I never understood it because, you know, the fact that he's colored completely blue is a dead giveaway that it's not He-Man. And it's weird. I never understood that concept. But the nice thing with the Faker character, though, is that if you've seen the new Masters of the Universe Revelation cartoon, you know, they actually do Faker right, in my opinion. You know, Faker actually looks like He-Man. He's the right flesh tone and everything, but, you know, you chop away at him, and all of a sudden you see his robotics, and it's apparent that it's not He-Man, it's a robot. Whereas this guy, if you saw this guy walking into a room, it's like, who's going to be fooled into thinking this is He-Man? I mean, He-Man's right here. It looks nothing like him. They're completely different colored skins, different body armor. You know, I just don't get it. I do realize that the head sculpt, it's He-Man, but, you know, either Skeletor is, like, colorblind, or I don't know. I just never understood it. Alright, let's get this out. I've said this before, I'm horrible at getting these weapons out of these little plastic baggies. Alright, so we have Faker here. Okay, so this is essentially, alright, so this guy's essentially a blue He-Man, but with Skeletor's body armor and He-Man's sword. So first off, the power sword, this is the single sword. This is the one that does not split in half. I actually like this version of the sword better. It doesn't feel as clumsy as the other sword. It doesn't have that weird little handle thing here. For me, I love this sword a lot. It's really cool. Shoot. Just give me a second. I dropped something. Okay, examining the figure up close. Okay, all right. Pushing aside my my hate for the Faker character and figure, it's a decent figure. I'll give it that. It is what it's supposed to be. It's Faker. It looks like the original Faker. The head sculpt is actually the head. It's the OG looking He-Man head sculpt that most collectors prefer. Like with the Origins line, they gave us this new head sculpt for He-Man, and people hate it. I don't mind. I think it's cool. I grew up on He-Man looking like this my entire life. It's about time, in my opinion, that he's kind of long overdue for a facelift and a new haircut. So I had no problem with this somewhat more modern take on his face. But this look is so popular that they've actually gone and repackaged this He-Man, but with the modern, or at least with the classic head. All right, I'm like being crazy right now. I'm like lost, right? So this figure here, they've re-released them, but they got rid of the unpopular head, which is this, and then they gave us the classic style head that came with the battle armored He-Man. All right, I said it. All right, for a second I got tongue tied and I was just like lost in my thoughts. So we have Faker here. Like I said, it's pretty much blue He-Man with red hair, and Skeletor's armored, but it's orange. And you can remove the armor piece here, and then all of a sudden you see his chest, and then lo and behold, you can tell he's a robot. And back in the day, computers, like in the 70s and 80s, before we had like real microchips and stuff, is that a lot of data was stored on like tape cassettes. So this guy kind of has like these giant cassettes built into his chest with like electronics and buttons. So yeah, he's a robot, just because you could tell because of this weird thing on his chest. It's all right. I like him. It's decent. I wish I had my Skeletor figure on hand, because I'm kind of curious if you could part swap him with Skeletor, if their flesh tones match. Because I do like the black gauntlets and the black belt. I do like the fact that he has the blue wrapped boots. Because I'd be curious to see if I could part swap this onto Skeletor, so Skeletor doesn't have those webbed feet. So yeah, decent figure. It's all right. I mean, I'm sure if you're a big fan of Faker, you're gonna love this figure. But like I said, growing up as a kid, this guy kind of like I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of him. I get it, but I don't know. Decent figure overall. If I had to rate this guy numerically, 7 to, I don't know, 7.5. He is what he is. He's supposed to be He-Man, but a robot clone of He-Man. The one thing that kind of mystified me, though, is that I do get that this head style is the more popular of the two. But I would have appreciated it for Faker if they actually gave him this head. Like, I know everyone hates this head, but, right now, in my opinion, this is, for me, when I think of Masters of the Universe Origins, for me, this is the head I identify Masters of the Universe Origins He-Man. Anytime I see this head, I always just think of the old 80s figure. And rightfully so, this is the face that, millions of kids grew up on. But for this day and age, this, in my opinion, is what He-Man looks like in Origins. This is what sets it apart from the 80s figure, is this different face. Whether or not it's better or worse in terms of the design, it's, I think it's a matter of opinion, but as a figure that represents the line as a whole, I think this is the head I want to see. This is the face of Origins. So for me, it makes little sense that this figure, the Faker, doesn't have this head. I would have liked it if they, actually included this extra head as an accessory. So, if you're nostalgic for the old He-Man or Faker, you can swap on this head. But if you want a Faker that fits into the modern aesthetic of Origins He-Man, then it'd be appropriate to have this head sculpt, but colored in the blue and with the red hair. If that makes any sense. I feel like I just spoke like at a million miles an hour trying to get my thoughts out. So, and also this is off topic, or I feel like an idiot. So how easy or hard is it to reattach this thing? Like, if you've seen some of my videos, I'll pull this figure out every now and then, but he won't have the harness on. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to put the harness back on He-Man. So then I'm like, all right, let's put the harness back on. And for some reason, it feels like it's a really tight fit. It's hard to get this tab into the hole here. It seems like I really have to like stretch on the material to make that happen. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a matter of placement of the harness. Like, is the chest emblem supposed to be placed higher up, or is it supposed to be placed lower down? But either way, I just had it was a pain in the butt to try to get to plug this thing back into here. You know, I think I just worried so much that I'm actually going to stretch it or rip it or something, but I don't know. I can't seem to, like, get it in correctly. Or at least for me, it takes a couple of tries. Maybe I'm just an idiot or something. And which I am, you know, just comment below. You're an idiot. Alright, forget about this. Alright, so here's Faker. Do you need him? Yes. I mean, I'm not a fan of the character, and I felt like I needed him. So this is a good character to add to your collection. It builds up your rogue gallery of He-Man villains. You know, this is Skeletor's personal robot that looks like He-Man. For a second, I was about to say it's almost like maybe Skeletor has like a He-Man fetish, and Faker is kind of like the real doll equivalent of He-Man that, you know, keeps Skeletor company late at night, especially when it's cold at night and needs companionship. Okay, so wrapping this up, my name is Lou. Once again, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care, buy lots of toys, and enjoy your life. All right, I'll see you next time.